The winter garden had a light frost that morning. I had taken the bus from my house to the central part of the city and walked through the streets to the park, carrying my school bag in one hand and my guitar in the other. The air was cold, and the snow was crusted along the edges of the paths and the stone walls. I thought that I would be alone, but as I made my way through the paths, I saw two boys standing by a tree with their jackets zipped against the cold. The boy in front, a tall, skinny guy wearing a baseball cap and an oversized jacket, turned and looked at me as I approached. He said something, but I could not hear him. I smiled and shrugged, walking up to them and nodding as I passed them by. I continued on, and heard them laugh as I left them behind me. I did not look back, and it was silent as I moved down the path, past the statues and the benches. It was a cold day, and I had come prepared for a walk. I was wearing a long, dark blue coat that reached to the bottom of my calves, with black leggings underneath. A pair of black boots covered my feet. My hair was pulled back, held in a ponytail by an elastic band. The path curved around in a circle, and as I came to the center of the circle, I saw a boy sitting on the edge of the fountain. He was small and thin, with short, curly brown hair and a wispy mustache that barely covered his mouth. He was wearing a sweater and jeans, and he was holding a guitar in his lap. I could see a light sweat on his forehead, and he looked very nervous. I stopped and watched him for a moment, thinking about what it would be like if he had been there for me. But then I smiled and began to play my guitar. He did not look at me when I started, but soon his eyes began to widen. He began to smile, and I knew that I had won him over. I was playing a song that I had learned from one of my friends at school, and I sang it softly as I strummed my guitar. It was a simple tune, with a simple melody that I had put my own spin on it. It had a bittersweet tone, but also a playful sense of joy. It was not my own, but it fit my voice perfectly. I played a few more chords, and then the song was over. The boy stared at me for a moment before looking down at his guitar. He started to play, softly at first, but soon his fingers were racing across the strings, moving so fast that I could barely hear them. The melody was beautiful, and his fingers were nimble. There were no mistakes. It was as though he had never played a song before, but as he played, he began to smile again. I watched him for a moment as he played, and I smiled myself. Then I picked up my own guitar and joined in. We played together for some time, our songs weaving in and out of each other. I liked to think that they complemented each other, but in truth they sounded very similar, both of us playing a similar style of music. After we had played for some time, the boy finally stopped playing and looked up at me. "You're amazing," he said. "Can I have your autograph?" I laughed and held out my hand. He wrote his name on the palm of my hand, and I put my own signature next to his. Then he walked away, still carrying his guitar. I continued to play for a while longer before finally deciding to go home. It was getting late, and I had work tomorrow. I packed up my things and started to walk away. Then I felt something hard pressed into my palm and looked down. It was the boy's guitar, still in its case. "This is yours now," he said. "I want you to have it." I smiled again and held out my hand. The boy put the case into my palm and closed my fingers around it. Then he gave me a hug and whispered, "Thanks," as he did so. I took a moment to think about him as he walked away, still holding his guitar. He was probably not the best player I had ever met, but he had a talent that he should never be allowed to waste. And he was smart. He knew when to play the music and when not to. He was going to make it big, I thought to myself as he disappeared down the path. He was going to be the next Bob Dylan, or the next Johnny Cash. I turned and started to walk home. I would play my guitar every day now, I decided, and I would practice every night, and I would make sure that this boy never forgot about me. It was time to become somebody.